Commissioner Holzman has joined the call.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Judge Hatcher. We are not starting yet. Myself and the commissioners were just given notice, and we are all joining here in just another minute. Right after that, we will get started with testimony. Ms. Bench, good to see you again. For everyone listening, that is our trusty court reporter.
Judge, Commissioner Holzman's on the line.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Commissioner Holzman.
Good evening, Judge. This is Commissioner Kochmeyer.
Thank you, Commissioner Kochmeyer. Good evening to you. Okay, we will go ahead and get started. We are expecting both the chairman and Commissioner Coleman to join us later.
Hey, Judge, it's Jackie. Commissioner Coleman will not be able to attend this evening, but the chairman is still.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
You're
Thank
fine.
you for that update.
I found out late in the day.
All right, then let's go ahead and we'll get started. Let's go on the record. First, I would ask that everyone please mute themselves unless they are speaking. That will cut down on the noise level and prevent audio feedback. Today is August 9th, 2022. The Missouri Public Service Commission has set this time for a local public hearing to give members of the public a chance to comment about Evergy, Missouri West electric general rate increase application, and that is file number ER-2022-0130. The Public Service Commission regulates rates charged by public utility companies in Missouri to ensure that those rates are just and reasonable. The Commission also regulates the quality of service and safety of the operations of public utilities. The Commission is made up of 5 commissioners. The commissioners are appointed by the governor to fixed terms and confirmed by the Senate. The commissioners employ a staff of engineers, accountants, attorneys, financial analysts, and other specialists in the field of utility regulation. My name is Charles Hatcher, and I am the regulatory law judge that will preside over this hearing. With me today are Chairman Ryan Silvey and Commissioners Jason Holzman and Glenn Kochmeyer. This is an official hearing of the Missouri Public Service Commission, and the statements and testimony of witnesses will be recorded by a court reporter, and they are given under oath. The Commission has not made any decisions in this case, and therefore the commissioners cannot answer any questions this evening. They have to remain impartial until all evidence is presented. Let's turn to a brief, abbreviated entry of appearance for counsel. We already have the addresses well established on the record. Let's start with Evergy West, please.
Thank you, Judge. On behalf of the company, I'm Jim Fisher. I'm a local attorney in Jefferson City.
Thank you, sir. And for the staff of the commission?
Nicole Merz for commission staff, and I encourage everyone, if you have comments, please do give them now. We had some great discussion earlier, and I'd love the commission to be able to hear that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. And that's a good point. I'll go ahead and comment on that as well before we move on. Those discussions that you just had in the question and answer session are unknown by the commissioners. As everyone just saw, the hearing is really divided into two portions. And that informational portion, kind of the back and forth that you had with staff and the council there, that's something that the commission isn't aware of. So like Council Mers said, if there was something discussed that you'd like to bring up and let the commission know, please, we do invite that. Let's turn now, I'm sorry for the digression, the Office of the Public Counsel.
Good evening, Your Honor. John Kleiser on behalf of the Missouri Office of the Public Counsel. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And again, we do have a number of interveners. I am not going to roll call them, but if there are any counsel for those interveners who would like to make their appearance known on the record, please go ahead and speak up. Let the record show none spoke up. The process this evening will be to call the names listed on our pre-registration sign-up sheet. That was the email in the order that the commission asked everyone to email for prior to tonight. I have 4 names on the list. I will go through those 4 names. I will call each one in order, place you under oath, ask you to state and spell your name, and then ask for your testimony. Once I'm done calling the names on that list, I will then open it to anyone who is on the call this evening who did not pre-register but still would like to testify to the commission. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And a quick reminder, we do have and made the WebEx available specifically to allow for telephone users to call in. Telephone users are muted currently and will need to unmute in order to speak, and that is *6. Okay, the first name on my list is Kane Sheik. The last name spelling I have is S-H-E-E-K.
Yes.
And the first name is spelled K. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Sheik, would you please let me swear you in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And would you please go ahead and state and spell your name for us?
Yes, my name is Kane, K-A-N-E, and my last name is Sheik, S-H-E-E-K.
Thank you, Mr. Sheik. Would you please go ahead and proceed with your comments?
Yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Like I said, my name is Kane Sheik, and I am a new resident of Kansas City. I just actually recently moved from Springfield. I'm an Evergy customer, and I am concerned for our future, and if we do not responsibly use these rate increase to transition away from dirty fossil fuels. As someone who's lived with asthma my entire life, I can tell you that the increasing numbers of bad air days directly affects my health and my livelihood. I have had more issues with my asthma within the last couple of years than I have throughout my entire life. As hot weather continues to rise and more pollutants from dirty fuel sources also continue to rise, my lung capacity has actually gotten worse. And I currently am lucky enough to be able to have health insurance and afford medication to keep this in check. But for many people in our community, I know that that isn't the case. And continuing to invest rate increases to dirty energy will only make things worse. Another one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from being an Eagle Scout is to really leave places cleaner than when you found them. As I grow older, I'm trying to leave a world that's cleaner and has a promise of a livable planet to my nieces and my nephews and future generations to come. And really, we can't ignore this climate crisis anymore. With Missouri getting hit with harsher droughts, more frequent flooding, and climate anomalies like the polar vortex that we saw in 2019, we really can't wait to speed up transitions towards clean and renewable energy. And lastly, as a young professional, I only have a finite and rigid budget that I have to follow to make sure that I can stay afloat. And just within the past year, we've been dealing with large rent increases, huge increases on things like gas and grocery prices. And now it seems that it's inevitable to be seeing increases in our utility prices as well. With no raises to salary or budget, it is getting harder and harder to keep up with necessary bills. I love Kansas City, and I want to be able to live in a city where I can find opportunities to make a good life for myself and my family. So I ask that if you are raising rates, that you please use the money wisely and invest in renewables that keep this planet livable for the future and to keep KC affordable for younger folks like me that are just starting out. That is all I have, so thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Sheik. Are there any questions from the commissioners? Okay, hearing none, I appreciate your testimony, Mr. Sheik. We'll move on. Our next witness is Tracy Gillenwater. The last name is spelled Gillenwater. Tracy Gillenwater. Again, if you're on the phone, it's *6 to unmute. And if Tracy Gillenwater will say hello, that will bring their screen to the front of our WebEx.
Yes, I've just joined the meeting as a guest. Was I supposed to call this number?
You are you're just calling in now?
Yes.
Is this Mr. James Turner, the name that I see on the screen? Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Mr. Turner, right now, this is Judge Hatcher, and right now you're on a conference call. We're having a public hearing for a requested rate increase for Evergy, Missouri West. Is that the phone call you meant to make, sir?
Yes, I have the feeling that I'm joined.
Mr. Turner, you cut out there a little bit. Right.
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you. I'm going to take things out of order a little bit, unless I hear an objection. Mr. Turner?
Yes, sir.
Did you call in to give us your thoughts or your testimony? This is a public meeting, and what I'd like to do, since I've got you, I'll go ahead and swear you in so you can make comments to the Missouri Public Service Commission. The commissioners are on the line.
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. And if you would state and spell your name for the record.
James Roy Turner, JamesRoyTurner.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. And please go ahead and tell the commissioners your testimony.
Thank you. I reside in Kansas City, Missouri, as do my 3 sons and a grandson. They can participate in a bountiful future if regulatory actions like this rate case will take proper account of how carbon dioxide and methane emissions from coal and gas hurt our climate and our economy. A hotter climate will reduce the potential for American farmers to raise enough food. Increased heat waves will result in more money being spent to keep dwellings cool, leaving less potential funds for productive investment. Evergy needs to stop sending about $500 million of its customers' money per year to import coal from Wyoming. Evergy needs to use securitization to expedite the retirement of its Hawthorne coal plant by 2025 and all of its coal plants no later than 2030, because we still have a shot at avoiding the worst impacts of our already changing climate if we will take necessary prompt action. Evergy shareholders should have some skin in the game. That is, the shareholders should have some skin in the game. When the fossil fuels it chooses during its resource planning exceed their projected cost, ratepayers shouldn't bear all the costs for volatile fossil fuel prices because utility executives gambled on coal and gas, when a combination of fixed price resources are available that can meet customer demand, including wind, solar, and efficiency. I am personally committed to such changes. I have solar panels on my house, and I drive an electric-powered car. That concludes my statement. Thank you.
Mr. Turner, I appreciate you showing up and coming to testify this evening. Are there any commissioner questions for Mr. Turner? All right, hearing none, we will go to the next name on the list, Adam Rossi. The last name is spelled R-O-S-S-I, Adam Rossi. Okay, hearing no answer, we'll go back to our remaining name on our pre-registered witness list, Tracy Gillenwater. Okay, hearing no reply, I'd like to go ahead and open it up to anyone who is in the audience this evening who would like to testify, to give their thoughts to the commissioners. This is a public hearing, and that's what it is here for. Just speak up to testify. How that will work on the WebEx is that will bring your rectangle, for lack of a better description, to the front of everyone's WebEx page. And then just like we've seen, I'll swear you in and then ask for your comments. If you're called in on the telephone, it is *6 to unmute. If you're talking and no one is answering you, you're muted. It's *6 to mute if you're on your telephone.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear someone.
Sorry about that, Your Honor. I would like to testify under oath, please. My name is Jason Maloney, spelled Jaysonmaloney.
Thank you very much. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, and please go ahead and give the commissioners your testimony.
Thank you first off for the opportunity to testify, Your Honor. My name is Jason Maloney. I've been a resident of Kansas City now for about 1.5 years. I relocated here to take a position with a large lending institution in Kansas City. I moved my business here, so I not only have purchased a home and have a residential account, but I also have a commercial account with Evergy. I'm here to state, similar to some of the other speakers, that Evergy should be held more accountable for responsible rate increases. My own business, I look at a lot of the socioeconomic impacts as well as the impacts on the environment. And this rate increase fails to address those climate issues and, address the reliable energy generation. When we look at Evergy, stating the facts, they spend nearly $500 million a year on coal, as James had stated, from Wyoming. But that's not counting all of these dollars that are spent keeping these old inefficient plants running every single year. The cost for fossil fuels continue to increase. The cost for housing, the cost for basic foods and necessities continues to increase. And those costs are ultimately passed down to consumers. My mother's disabled and relies on a fixed income, and she feels the blunt of these increases. Myself, as a young professional, I also work to keep my balanced budget, and I want to continue to see that these prices are affordable for everyone in Kansas City. For us, that are working professionals, it may seem like a small amount, but for those that are on retirement, disability, or fixed income, this can have a massive impact on their budget. I want a utility company that understands climate crisis and does what they can to be the next generation and has responsibility to look for alternatives for these fuel sources. So I thank you for your time and allowing me to provide testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney. I appreciate your time in being here this evening and your testimony.
Thank you.
I will run through our two remaining names and ask one last time for any other persons who wish to testify. We're still looking for Tracy Gillenwater or Adam Rossi or anyone else who's in attendance who would like to give their thoughts to the commissioners. Okay, that'll bring this public hearing to a close. I want to thank all of our participants today for their testimony. If you do have additional comments, or you know someone, or you had technical difficulty and could not make your comment this evening, you still may make written comments by going to the PSC's webpage, and that's psc.mo.gov. And in the upper right-hand corner is a link to comment on cases. Make sure and include this case number, and I'll repeat that, ER-2022-0130. If you have a question for the Office of the Public Counsel, you may send that to mopco@opc.mo.gov. Commissioners and council and our trustee reporter, Bev, thank you all for working your evenings. This hearing is now adjourned, and we are off the record.
Thank you,
Thank you, Judge.